"Hello," said the boy.
"Hello," answered Trot, looking up surprised. "Where did you come from?"
"Philadelphia," said he.
"Dear me," said Trot. "You're a long way from home, then."
"About as far as I can get in this country," the boy replied, gazing out over the water. "Isn't this the Pacific Ocean?"
"Of course."
"Why, of course?"
he asked. "Because it's the biggest lot of water in all the world."
"How do you know?"
"Cap'n Bill told me," she said.
"Who's Cap'n Bill?"
"An old sailor man who's a friend of mine. He lives at my house, too. The White House you see over there, on the bluff."
"Oh, is that your home?"
"Yes," said Trot proudly. "Isn't it pretty?"
"It's pretty small, seems to me," answered the boy.
"But it's big enough for Mother and me and for Cap'n Bill," said Trot.
"Haven't you any father?"
"Yes, indeed. Cap'n Griffith is my father, but he's gone most of the time sailing on his ship. You must be a stranger in these parts, little boy, not to know about Cap'n Griffith," she added, looking at her new acquaintance intently.
Trot wasn't very big herself, but the boy was not quite as big as Trot. He was thin, with a rather pale complexion, and his blue eyes were round and earnest. He wore a blouse waist, a short jacket, and knickerbockers. Under his arm he held an old umbrella that was as tall as he was. Its covering had once been of thick brown cloth, but the color had faded to a dull drab, except in the creases, and Trot thought it looked very old-fashioned and common. The handle, though, was really curious. It was of wood and carved to resemble an elephant's head. The long trunk of the elephant was curved to make a crook for the handle. The eyes of the beast were small red stones, and it had two tiny tusks of ivory. The boy's dress was rich and expensive, even to his fine silk stockings and tan shoes, but the umbrella looked old and disreputable.
"It isn't the rainy season now,"
remarked Trot with a smile. The boy glanced at his umbrella and hugged it tighter.
"No," he said, "but umbrellas are good for other things, besides rain."
"Afraid of getting sunstruck?" asked Trot.
He shook his head, still gazing far out over the water.
"I don't believe this is bigger than any other ocean," said he. "I can't see any more of it than I can of the Atlantic."
"You'd find out if you had to sail across it," she declared.
"When I was in Chicago, I saw Lake Michigan," he went on dreamily, "and it looked just as big as this water does."
"Looks don't count with oceans," she asserted. "Your eyes can only see just so far, whether you're looking at a pond or a great sea."
"Then it doesn't make any difference how big an ocean is," he replied. "What are those buildings over there?"
pointing to the right, along the shore of the bay.
"That's the town," said Trot. "Most of the people earn their living by fishing. The town is half a mile from here, and my house is almost a half-mile the other way, so it's about a mile from my house to the town."
The boy sat down beside her on the flat rock.
"Do you like girls?" asked Trot, making room for him.
"Not very well," the boy replied. "Some of them are pretty good fellows, but not many. The girls with brothers are bossy, and the girls without brothers haven't any go to 'em. But the world's full of both kinds, and so I try to take 'em as they come. They can't help being girls, of course. Do you like boys?"
"When they don't put on airs or get roughhouse," replied Trot. "My experience with boys is that they don't know much, but think they do."
"That's true," he answered. "I don't like boys much better than I do girls, but some are all right, and you seem to be one of 'em."
"Much obliged," laughed Trot. "You aren't so bad either, and if we don't both turn out worse than we seem, we ought to be friends."
He nodded rather absently and tossed a pebble into the water.
"Been to town?" he asked.
"Yes, Mother wanted some yarn from the store. She's knitting Cap'n Bill a stocking."
"Doesn't he wear but one?"
"That's all. Cap'n Bill has one wooden leg," she explained. "That's why he don't sailor anymore. I'm glad of it, because Cap'n Bill knows everything. I suppose he knows more than anyone else in all the world."
"Phew," said the boy. "That's taking a good deal for granted. A one-legged sailor can't know much.